Today we are going to discuss how to prepare yourself to list your house or to put your house on the market. This is Elsa with H-Town Royal Group by CB&A Realtors, your #1 trusted realtor here in Houston area. All right, so we're going to dive in. Let's talk about some of the items that will help you to prepare to put your house on the market this summer or in the near future. So the #1 item is you really need to prepare in advance. If you have started having those thoughts that you are thinking of selling your house, it's high time for you to start prepare so that you can have a timeline. Engage a real estate agent so that you can walk through the process together and kind of prepare yourself, because who knows the last time that you are able to purchase a house. A lot of things has changed, and now that time you are purchasing a house, this time around you're going to be a seller, and it's ideal for you and to be ready and to know what to really expect. So once you engage your real estate agent, you're going to work together on a timeline to be able to successfully prepare the house and put it on the market. So prepare yourself in advance so that you don't want to feel like you're rushing to make some decisions. When you're selling a real estate, when you're selling a house and preparing maybe to buy another one, these are always huge decisions that you make. And at no point should you feel like you're rushing to make a decision. This is a lifetime changing decisions that we make. So go ahead and prepare yourself in advance, engage your real estate agent so that we can work on a timeline together. The second item that you need to pay attention to is, once you have engaged your realtor, come up with a to-do list of how to really prepare your house for the market, meaning that those maintenance stuff that should have been done regularly. Who knows if you are that kind of a homeowner who does those maintenance regularly, or you are that kind of a person who waits until they break down for you to start working on them. So have a to-do list together with your realtor and figure out the things that need some maintenance. For example, the house could be needing paint touch-ups. If you have kids, you know there are those spots that when they walk down the hallway, they touch them. Going up the stairs, they touch them. It's just so dirty on the wall. So some of those things, have a to-do list so that you can have items to work on to be able to meet that timeline. When you work with your trusted real estate agent, it's ideal for you to have a perfect timing for the market. I know there's nothing perfect, but at least close to being perfect, meaning that if you're planning to sell your house, it's always good time to make a movement when kids are out of school, whether you have kids or people who are going to be looking for houses. They have kids. It's always good to time that, because a lot of people makes a lot of movement during summer. But what is ideal time for you to put your house on the market? So looking at that time frame, it means that really in the spring is ideal time for you to prepare the house and make sure that it's in perfect shape possible for it to go on the market before school goes out in the summer. It's always a good idea to have that good timing so that you don't miss the high season or the hot season when everybody is moving around and they're looking for property. That could be your ideal opportunity, but definitely work with your trusted real estate agent, listen to their advice, their guidance, so that this process can be as seamless as possible on your end. Now, comes the time when the house is going on the market, just make sure that you are very flexible to do a couple of things that will help sell your property in the shortest amount of time and make sure that you get the most amount of money out of it. There could be some things that you look at it does not make sense to you, but in the buyer's agent eyes, it really makes sense to that buyer when they walk through that front door. What impression do they receive? Therefore, making sure that your house is in really, really nice condition will really help you to sell in the shortest amount of time and to make sure that you hit that goal. So things like curb appeal, when that person drives up to that front door, do they feel welcoming? Do they feel like home? Do they feel warm? Or it just feels so cold and a place that was never taken care of, or a place that's just not ideal for them? What is that reception that they have as they walk through that front door? What is the feeling? How does the house smell? All these factors makes the buyer that walks through that door, you know, influence their decisions whether to buy that house or to move on to the next thing. Make sure that you don't have anything that's personal showing on the walls, on that refrigerator, personal pictures. You don't want that to be anything of a distraction to a buyer. So make sure you take those things down and just have the house as decluttered as possible, because as a buyer, they love to see space. So when that space is decluttered, meaning you don't have all those things lying around, any extra boxes that you don't need, you can just touch them in the garage, so that when they walk around that house, they can feel the space and they can imagine themselves living in that house. The way you present your house is going to influence the decision of the buyer, whether to make the offer or even how high or how low that offer can be. Once you have prepared your house, it is the work of your real estate agent to guide you through the entire process from the beginning to the end. As we have your house on the market, how flexible are you in terms of showing the property to potential buyers? Do you just want to time block several days in a week, or you have that flexibility? Keep in mind that the more flexible you are, the better chance for you to get a buyer for your property. We live in different times right now where the market is really different. So any opportunity you have for a buyer to come through that door, it better be ready, and you better be ready yourself to let that buyer in. So working together as a team helps a lot to attain the ultimate goal of you being able to acquire a buyer for that house, and you being able to move on to other things, whether you're buying another house or anything of the sort. And before I forget, also part of flexibility meaning understanding the current market conditions and being flexible to work with the buyer that comes through. If the market is a highly biased market, what does that mean? It does not favor you much as a seller, but it does favor a buyer, because they're able to negotiate a lot of things from your end. So have the correct mentality and just be flexible in terms of wanting to make sure that you work with that buyer, so that at the end of the day, we all have a win-win situation. Otherwise, I wish you all the best as we prepare to put your house on the market.